Chat. Are we cooked? You might be cooked if you're building Titamon wrong, which is what a lot of y'all are doing. So the professor of Yapology has also broken into the purple mainframe once again. I'm going to show you how the Gaslightees of Chronomon are supposed to be played in BT24. First things first, Brokey alert. If you didn't pick up the promo Titamon, I'm sorry to tell you, your deck will be bad. But now that we've got that out of the way, you can be like me. I've spent a little too much on these promos because I was not nowhere at the beginning. But you know how deck profiles be. We're going to start at the eggs. We're going to try and make this nice and quick. And then there's some very illegal combos that I need to let the world know because Nats is coming up for my American homies. And I would like to inject chaos into your regional for fun. First though, we're going to start at the eggs. Shout out Kayla Muriel for the cooked Garurumon sleeves. But yeah, we're on 4 of the Chronomon. We're on the intended one. You could run the draw one, but this is really important for kind of shoring up some lines. It's when a level 4 or higher Digimon card with Demon Titan is trash from your hands, then you can play it with a cost reduced by 2, so level 4 or higher. And you do have to be careful on like what you've pitched. You can obviously deny it every time a card is pitched and save the card that you need to play. Doing this sometimes just lets you push your memory threshold higher, so that way you can kind of do some additional extensions. So we're on 4 of the Suno and just keeping it at that. 1 Labra. It is off out of archetype, I guess, but it does pick up shamans and dark animals. But it does pick up shamans, and your boss monsters are all shamans, so kind of helpful there. And obviously the inherit to gain back a memory can come up. It's just a one-off because in this build we're not on any dark animals. We are on 3 of the Gobbly, because some, reduction is nice when you play on board, but you don't always want to. So only 3 of him, 3 of the trash one, draw 2, and then 4 of the best rookie, which is the one that searches top 3 and then does get to trash. So you can still get value out of it that way. Being able to trash after getting the value of the search just feels a lot better. So I'm on a 3/3/4 with the additional rookie. You could play a 4th of whichever, but I found that the Labra was quite useful because as much as you are a deck that plays from trash, you don't always want to play from trash. Sometimes you want to be able to just kind of play from hand. Then keeping the theme of 1 off archetype, this is a demon, so it can be played off of a bunch of the effects the Ginkaku promote, and that is a rush buddy on play. You'll see it in some of the OTK builds, but we're just using it as an extra damage. And it comes down nice and cheap when you need it. And then we are on 4, 2, and 4 of Edd, Eddy, and Eddy. Wait, I am just, yep, there we go, excellent. 4, 2, and 3, sorry, of Edd, Eddy, and Eddy. These goobers are the main, not the main power budget of the deck, but you're going to be seeing the most of these. Ogre suspends and locks during unsuspend phase, so it is not amazing into blue, but against the majority of decks, this guy's a suspend and lock for Digimon. Pop 6k on the Fuga, and give jamming blocker for the Hyoga. So a lot of people are using the Hyoga very aggressively, which obviously, makes sense, giving you that jamming. And then you kind of just set the Ogres in trash early to try and bring them back and then use them as recurring floodgates. But sometimes you do just want to clear bodies off the board, especially if they've gone wide. It's great in order to be able to suspend them, but once you have a Fuga in rotation, being able to pop the small body so that way you're not wasting removal on them does matter quite a bit. So I was pretty happy with a additional 1 tech piece and then 4, 2, 3. I don't think you need much more than that. When these are trashed, you have 5 or fewer at the end of whatever effects resolution you have. Then you get to do your draws from those, and they're really, really good. But Ogre is kind of the standout one, so that's why I'm on 4 of him. And even though I do play quite aggressively with these guys, ultimately, I end up not using as much of the Hyoga. For the 5s, we're on 1 Parrot because we are a purple deck and you have deletion removal. It helps to have non-deletion removal. I will almost never Evo this thing. This thing exists to be played out by an effect to bot deck purple decks, bot deck anything that, kind of doesn't care about being deleted. So this is really, really useful. You suspend 1 body and then you can return one of the suspended Digimon with the lowest DP. So you can just suspend their biggest body and then bot deck that if they don't have anything else suspended. So you can punish boards really cleverly. Great card. The inherit never comes up, and it is mono green, which does matter. We're on 3 of Digimon, who is the best alternate level 5 for me. Personally, same thing where it gets additional effects where it's played by an effect. It's trashed any 3 Digivolution cards, so Source Strip, not something that people are really expecting to play into for purple. Then, if played by effects, delete 1 Digimon with no Digivolution card, so it can be nice removal. And its on deletion lets you float into a level 4 from trash, which means you'll get to float into your ogres to stun something that may be threatening to continue to attack, pop a small body that might be trying to go for game, or just float into a blocker. So sometimes if you've gone if you like have a Hyuga that's turned this into a blocker and then you block with it and then float into another Hyuga, that can be really annoying, or into additional removal. And then the real reason I play this deck, real knowers know, real Elixir heads know that I play this deck because Sculptoluchimon is my dog. So as soon as I saw him in Time Stranger and this was going to be a thing, this is why I started playing the deck. It's why I didn't get the promos when they were cheap, because I don't care about Titanmon. But this right here, this is the glue that keeps me going. Sec +1 if it's a Titan or has Titanmon, and by trashing 1, delete 1 each of a 3 and a 4. Yeah, 1 each. It's mandatory to pop 2 targets if you have 2 targets. Drops for 6. That does come up. And all the Titans are 7k bodies. So we're on 4-3-1. It's enough. The reason that we're not on Sharkmon or anything like that... Oh, I guess I should also have mentioned. The Inherit for the Digimon does come up by placing 1 Digimon, unsuspend it. It's a blue Inherit. That does come up. You do sometimes go wide enough that you can just suck up a body that served its purpose. Yeah. Clean. Reason we're not on Sharkmon is because we are on 1 Anubis. You are playing a purple deck, so you should be playing Anubis. Anubis especially is really, really good because it lets you play your boss monster for 2 memory. And because that boss monster blows itself up at the end of a turn, you have all the pieces to play it for 2 memory every turn. And also you sometimes play like 5 cards by effect. So you can just draw like 5 and also blow up a bunch of their board if you sequence things correctly. Card is very, very good. Would recommend. Yeah, and then, you know, the card that filters the people that want to play it. If you're playing the other Titanmon, I'm sorry to hear that. This guy's crazy. Has Alliance, so that's your Sec +1 that beats out the BT6 one. On play, when Digivolving by trashing 1 card in your hand, you get to suspend and lock a Digimon or Tamer. It's so important to be able to make sure that Homeros stays asleep. How to lock things like Jupiter. You can just be an absolute degenerate nuisance if you do this and then have Ogremons in rotation. So you can just full lock down a board. Then all turns, so even if you trash during your opponent's turn, which can happen depending on what you're playing into, you get to play a level 4 or lower demon or titan from your trash without paying the cost. So that's how you can get the Ginkaku promote, because he is a demon and the rest of your stuff is all titan. So really, really good card. It being on play does come up and it does matter, because obviously if you're playing titans in BT24, it's not like we've got anything else to go into. So you are going into the man and his dog, Titanmon Sculptoluchi. Rush, Piercing, Execute. Possibly the funniest 3 keywords to put together. On play, when Digivolving, when attacking, non-once per turn by trashing 1 card in your hand, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level. So this is a guaranteed double pop, basically. And then on deletion, you can float into a Titanmon or level 5 or lower Titan from your trash without paying the cost. So that's why having the on play for the Titanmon matters a lot, because the other ones only have 1 Digivolving, so this means that you're at least getting extra value out of getting your Titan, and the Titan then spits out a second body from doing its combo. Very, very sick card. It having Rush Execute means that if you're evolving over something that was free played, you get to send it again, and if it's played by itself, you can just use it. Some people just use it just as like a Blitz Omni by assembling. It's assembly -6, so you slam this boy for 8 if you have Titanmon Sculptoluchi in trash. It is considered a demon and also has the Shaman trait, so it is recoverable off of your Anubis. So some recoverable off of your Labramon. So I've had games where I had enough memory to go slam Labra for 3, add back this, and then assembly, because the rest of the pieces are in trash. So really, really sick combo. And like I said, with one combo, I guess, with Anubis is even if you were just holding the 3 of them in hand, evolving into Anubis, you can then trash these 3 for cost and then target the Titanmon Sculptoluchi that's now in trash to play it and assembly these 2 bodies to do -8 off of this, -6 off of this to effectively play this guy for 2. And like I said, because you have Execute, when this guy blows himself up, if Anubis makes it back to you next turn, which he probably will because you just full cleared their entire board, You get to play this guy, Anubis, try and pop a 5 or lower on play, trash pop lowest, swing pop lowest, and because it has execute, you can swing over unsuspended as well. There's a 14k body, very, very, very strong. So you can get hella pop, and then it's going to float into another Titamon. Anubis can then try and pop another thing or draw you an extra card, and then you get to pitch a card, play another thing. Anubis get you another card. So Anubis really helps with making sure that you don't go super minus once you start doing this combo. And like I said, it's a 2-cost Taita Balu every single turn. Card's crazy. But what if I told you it's not even the craziest way to play this deck? We've got 2 of the best purple memory setter. It's Matt. You know, you do be trashing cards by effect, so you can be snatching memory. And 3 Asuna Shiroki. We are a purple deck, so this is your TS Tamer of choice. I don't want to see no Hirokos. We've got 4 or less memory at start of your turn. By bottom decking this Tamer, you can play an Asuna or a level 4 or lower Digimon with a TS trait or 3 muskets, which means you can't play the promote, but, you know, it is what it is. And then on play, by trashing 1 card with 3 musket or TS in trait, you can draw 2. So it's another Destiny draw that is a Tamer. These 2 make a crazy combo that I'll explain in a little bit. But first, we got to talk about the pro tags. We got, you know, Daniel Kananiel, Dan Kanan, Dan Yuki, Kanan Yuki. Start a main. If you have 4 or less memory, gain 1. And then end of turn, by suspending this Tamer, you may use 1 TS option. And then one of your Digimon may attack. So we'll get into the spells that you can sling. We're on 1 Shock Plasma. This could easily be a Tidal Wave if you, again, want that varied removal. I like Shock Plasma because it was cheap and it was a little bit more feasible because you have to pass over the memory to be able to use this. So passing 3 felt a lot better. So to be able to Shock Plasma to -6 something, and then if you're attached, you know, the Digimon can attack. So it effectively is a 3-cost -12 that is recurable. So really, really like Shock Plasma as a 1. It has Save Me in Security as well. -6 is sometimes just enough if something can't be removed. DP minus, you know, cooks everything in the game. I lost some pre-release games to it as well. Card's very good. And Invasion of Titans is very, very good. This card is probably part of the reason that Neptune is not listed as a Titan. I'm on no Neptune, if you hadn't already figured it out by the fact we've stopped talking about Digimon. This is draw 2, trash 2. Very, very good. You do have to meet color requirements, which does matter because, you know, the TS guys can't use this. Your turn, when any of your Titan are played, you can delay. If your opponent has 5 or more memory, you can play 1 level 5 or lower Digimon with Titan. That's where the egg comes in, because sometimes you just do a nice, neat combo and you end on like 2 or 3. And that's where you use the egg in order to play one of your 5s or something to tip the memory over back to 5. Use all of your Invasion of Titans, and then you use Matt to bring the memory back down to something a little bit more reasonable. Card is very, very good. I once had 3 of them on board and just triple procced all 3 to spit out a crap load of bodies. A lot of the time you just kind of hit people and just go, here's 8 memory. Can you out this? No? I got him, GG's. Here's 5 bodies on board that you can't answer. And I've already revealed it, but you know, you're a purple deck. So if you go grinding, you should be on Jack Raid. All right. So that's the deck. If you just wanted to see the cards that I'm on, because, you know, fresh off of a locals W, and y'all know that's what matters the most. Yeah. This deck, very, very good. I think it genuinely can compete. I think I undersold it a little bit in the tier list. I had not played it in this version, and I love this. I was trolling with the first list I was running. I was kind of hoping I could win a local with it so I could show you guys it, but concept sucked. This is the version that I will probably continue playing. Here's the crime. Shout out to Jambo and the Unkers for figuring this one out. This is evil. So we talked about, you know, Anubis lets you play Titamon Scorbolucci for 2. But what if you could play it for negative memory? What if I told you that you could have your Taitabalu and keep it 2? That sounded way better in my head, actually. I'm not going to hold you. So this combo does kind of require the stars to align, which I'm not going to lie, kind of cringe. I have thrown games actively trying to get this just so I can say that I've done it. But it's a fun little mini game. All you need is... yeah, okay. All you need is like 4 pieces. And then ideally you do need the assembly targets in trash. You almost mandatorily need the assembly targets in trash. So let's hide all this garbage for now. Let's clean up the board. And you know, you might be cooked if you're sitting across and your opponent has the Infinity Stones. So if a rookie made it back to them that was just like left there, or you know, maybe we ended on a 5 that's a little bit harder to out. Most importantly, as long as the egg is on board at start of turn, your opponent, you know, passes you 2, let's say 2, you know, or even 1, you know, let's be super stringent. They pass you 1, they're like, okay, you have a memory setter. You want to go to 3? No. What you're gonna do is with any of your favorite ogres, whichever color you prefer, it's gonna be Asana, start of turn, bot deck her to play out Ogremon. Ogremon on play, we're going to trash Titamon Skullbalucci from your hand. Egg effect. Your turn, when a level 4 or higher demon or titan is trashed from your hand, you may play one of them with the play cost reduced by 2. So we're going to try and play our 14 play cost Titamon Skullbalucci for 12 and assembly it from trash. To do minus 6. So that brings it down to 6. We're going to pass over 5 memory. We're going to do all of our nonsense. And then, because we're still at start of turn, Mr. Ishida is going to bring the memory back to 3. So, you may notice that we've ended up with more memory than we started with, and have a level 7 and a 4, but like we don't care about the 4, but we have a level 7! That also, again, as a reminder, you get to do your on plays, to trash and delete some stuff, and then you draw for 10. So, kind of crazy, right? And yeah, it's not normal. It's just genuinely not normal. This is a combo that exists. It is very difficult to set up. The main thing that makes it work is both of these tamers are start of turn timing. So as long as the Asana can trigger, and because it's start of turn, you need the egg on board, because obviously you can't push out of raising at start of turn timing. You need a body on board, spin the Asana, trash. You do need to keep this in hand, trash it, assembly, do your thing. Madashida set you to 3. So when players do pass you less than 3 and they try and move your memory setter to 3, move it back to wherever the memory was. Don't let them try and set you to 3. Your setting to 3 actually matters on this. But yeah, that's like the super stupid illegal thing that you can do with this deck that's evil. But they deserve it. And if they let you set up the Infinity Stones, sometimes they just die. Sometimes they hit the second tamer that you needed out of security and you just go, oh, unlucky. But yeah, this was a quick-ish. This was not a quick deck profile. It always ends up like this. But I hope that this causes issues. I just straight up hope that this makes your regional runs way funnier. If you liked what you saw and you do want to see more, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. I'm about to lock in for a bunch of videos recorded because I'm out of the country again. But yeah, I've probably been out of focus this whole video. Sick. Bye.